1. Florence, Italy. Rome may get the credit for being Italy's most historic city, but for sheer, unadulterated Italian beauty, it's hard to beat Florence. Take a stroll down any cobblestone street and you're bound to bump into astonishing piazzas and cathedrals. The skyline-dominating Cathedral of Santa Maria del Fiore is a cannot miss, as well as museums and galleries where the absence of mile-long lines belies the presence of some of star works of the Italian masters, including Michelangelo's iconic David. 2. St. Petersburg, Russia. Sometimes referred to as the City of Tsars, Russia's on-again off-again former capital is home of some of the planet's most stunning examples of old-world opulence. The Hermitage Museum, housed partially inside of the Winter Palace that Catherine the Great once called home, is practically wallpapered with paintings from the likes of Da Vinci, Rembrandt, and Matisse. If you're not much for structured galleries, just wandering around the palace-dotted city is an art experience in and of itself, thanks to the gorgeously painted onion domes and gilded cathedrals that punctuate the skyline. 3. Bangkok, Thailand. If you add only one word to your vocabulary before hitting the streets of Thailand's capital, make it Wat. No matter which of these Buddhist temples you wind up at, you're guaranteed to find breathtaking beauty, be it the reclining Buddha at Wat Pho, the 5.5-ton solid gold version at Wat Tramet, the elaborate spires of Wat Arun, or the astonishing gilded wonderland of Wat Phra Kaew, part of the same complex as the ceremonial Grand Palace. 4. Charleston, South Carolina. Despite recent coastal flooding, Charleston remains one of the crown jewels of American beauty, with the picturesque parks hung with Spanish moss, pastel row houses and stately manors. Charleston has the look of a classic European city, lush with quintessentially Southern charm. Spend your days touring the local tea and rice plantations that make the area's low-country cuisine so crave-worthy, or head to the water for spectacular sunset views and the occasional dolphin spotting. 5. Sydney, Australia. Considered one of the most iconic buildings of the 20th century, the Sydney Opera House is easily the most recognizable feature of Sydney's skyline, but it's far from alone in its beauty. Take the glittering cerulean waters of the city's beaches, the most famous, Bondi, is a must for surfers, or the verdant Royal Botanical Gardens. For less outdoorsy types, the city is also home to a plethora of museums, zoos, and aquariums to suit every taste, not to mention a culinary scene that will make any Instagram fiend's food porn needs. 6. Cape Town, South Africa. Cape Town has rocketed to the top of travel must lists in recent years thanks to its stunning ocean and mountain views, rolling vineyards and brilliant crayon-colored neighborhoods, the adventurous food scene, world-class wines, and, oh yes, adorable native penguins don't hurt either. 7. London, England. Big Ben, Buckingham Palace, the London Eye, the Tower Bridge, Shakespeare's Globe Theatre, Westminster Abbey. The list of iconic London sights is almost overwhelming. In between hitting some of England's most famous locales, make time to stop in at some of the city's sensational contemporary art galleries and theatres, where the creative tradition of London is still alive and well. 8. Prague, Czech Republic. Head to the top of Petronil for sweeping views of this bohemian gem. While there are dozens of medieval wonders to take in, including the fairy tale spires of Prague Castle, make sure to leave time for a walk across the Baroque spectacle of Charles Bridge, a 16-arch stone line with statues commissioned by King Charles IV in the 1300s. 9. Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. The famous Christ the Redeemer makes Rio's skyline one of the most famous in the world. Coupled with its towering stone outcroppings, beloved beaches, and a life-loving attitude that permeates the city, a trip to this metropolis is a perfect excuse to embrace your spontaneity. 10. Havana, Cuba. Until recently, a visit to Florida's near neighbor remained but a dream for most Americans, but the relaxation of travel prohibitions in recent years have made Havana a new travel hotspot. The booming tourism industry has only added to the study and contrasts that is Havana. The city is filled with references to both the past and the future, pastel ice cream shops and vibrant classic cars, a dedication to tradition and a joy to embrace the newcomers who are swiftly falling in love with the city. 11. Edinburgh, Scotland. Walking through Edinburgh, one could be forgiven for feeling like a time traveler, with one foot in the past, another in the present. The compact city remains remarkably green, the medieval bulk of Edinburgh Castle perched protectively over the bustling cityscape where the rich old town, bustling bar scene, and deep artistic roots. It's home to the renowned Edinburgh Fringe Festival as well as the exceptional and free National Gallery. 12. Hong Kong, China. Unlike some of the ancient cities on this list, Hong Kong stands out because of its unique modern beauty. Away from the smog of some of China's industrial centers, the tidy, well-laid-out city is split by waterways which turn the glittering skyscrapers into a nightly light show. 13. Jaipur, India. A trip to Jaipur just wouldn't be complete without traversing the old city district, where the vivid colors of the city palace complex, the iconic, pink-walled Palace of Winds and the collection of giant sculptural instruments designed for measuring the heaves housed in Jantar Mantar all reside. After you've taken in its rich history, head to Jaipur's jewelry district, where you can browse through Gem Palace and Amrapali for some of the world's rarest gems. Both Princess Diana and Elizabeth Taylor were known to have paid these shops a visit during their visit to India. 14. New York. New York. Is it a bit of a cheat to put our hometown on this list? Perhaps. Still, no one can deny that New York has earned its spot among the loveliest cities on the planet, with possibly the most recognizable skyline around. Buildings like the Empire State Building and the Chrysler Building are only part of the city's beauty. Whether you're appreciating the full city view from the World Trade Center Observatory, taking in the surprising pockets of natural beauty in Central Park, or exploring the city's variety in the outer boroughs, New York is a city of hidden gems. 15. Barcelona, Spain. Barcelona owes much of its architectural impact to Antoni Gaudí, who drew from Gothic and Byzantine influences to create ceramic and stained glass mosaics that paint the city's public spaces, as well as his imposing stoneworks like the massive, city-defining Sagrada Familia Church. 16. Kyoto, Japan. A sense of the past permeates this Japanese metropolis, one of the most well-preserved ancient cities in the country. A trip to Kyoto is all about embracing connections with nature, with yourself, with others through the city's many famed temples. Take your time exploring the precisely curated gardens and massive bamboo forests at spots like Kiyomizu-dera or Enryaku-ji, as well as sites like the path of brilliantly painted shrine gates at Fushimi in Auritasha. 17. Bruges, Belgium. For fairy tale beauty, it doesn't get much better than Bruges. And should you find yourself having a Beauty and the Beast moment as you wander through the cobblestone streets overlooking the canals with cottages that have stood since the 12th century all around you, well, we won't tell anyone. 18. Chefchaouen, Morocco. Theories on why this small Moroccan city has been painting houses and mosques blue abound. Some say the color was meant to symbolize heaven, others say the shade serves as a natural bug repellent, but whatever the reason, Chefchaouen's laid-back nature make it a refreshing, breathtaking respite from the bustle of nearby Marrakesh and Fez. 19. Paris, France. Paris. Perhaps you've heard of it. Widely considered to be one of the top 5 most beautiful cities on earth, Paris has it all. Long scenic malls, lush gardens, historical sites, art, fashion. No wonder it's called the City of Light, and nicknamed the City of Love. It's practically impossible not to fall for the city and its shimmering lights. 20. Queenstown, New Zealand. A look at Queenstown, nestled idyllically along the shore of Lake Waikato, does not immediately inspire thoughts of the adventure sports capital of the world, and yet it's here that thrill-seekers flock for some of the most scenic bungee jumping, river surfing, and canyon swinging. Yes, that's a thing Mother Earth has to offer. Head here for some of the more impressive natural wonders you'll ever lay your eyes on.